For the longest time, I believed that being vulnerable was for the weak, and I lived by my belief. I built my walls so high that no one could get through it. I was convinced that if I never let anyone in, they can never hurt me. And it was kind of the mantra for my life, and it was going pretty well. Until the point that I realized that the very same shield that was meant for protecting me became the reason for my isolation. It took me years to understand that vulnerability isn't a weakness. And if done right, it is one of the strongest things that you can ever do for yourself. Hey girlies, hey sweethearts, I'm Shiva Ragvi, you can call me Shiva. Today I'm here to rant, talk about my years of unlearning, about why vulnerability is kind of a superpower and not just a flaw. Um, I used to think I had it all figured out. Keep people at distance, never show weakness, never let anyone know what you're feeling. I used to be that strong one, the one who never needed any help, the perfect kid, the one who was put together, had everything figured out. But the thing is, when you spend years pretending that nothing is affecting you, you end up pushing people away without even realizing. I had a shield around me, a solid, unbreakable one. For years, no one even managed to scratch the surface. At this point, I wasn't being guarded, I was locked in. This shield wasn't protecting me anymore, but it was keeping me alone. I used to act cold, detached, like I didn't even care. Not because I was heartless, but because I was in a constant fear of letting people in. What if they figure out that I do have feelings? What if they figure out that they can hurt me? The things that they do affect me. They have the capacity of hurting me, and I do have expectations. I do have every other normal human emotions that every everyone else is capable of experiencing. It somehow made me feel weak and vulnerable. So I used to pretend. And the worst part is, I was really, really good at pretending. I was really good at portraying that stone cold face that people really used to believe in. But the thing is that no matter how much you try to shut off your emotion, they don't go away. They build up and they eventually catch up to you. For the longest time, I used to believe that you live alone, you die alone, you don't need anyone. And like to some extent, I still do stand by that at the end of the day. You are your own responsibility, and that doesn't mean that you have to go through everything alone. You can lean on people, you can share your struggle. That doesn't make you weak, it just makes you human. I used to envy people who could talk. Like, they'll just grab a friend, sit and say, like, hey, I'm struggling. While I was the type of person who would let things eat me up alive rather than burdening someone else. I don't know why. It's like that's how I was. Okay, like, but let me tell you, keeping everything inside, it's the real burden. Life has a funny way of putting you in situations when you need to grow from, right? And for me, it meant ending up surrounded by people who knew how to communicate their emotions. At first, it was so uncomfortable, like all this felt alien to me. And for some reason, communicating your emotions about what you're feeling, for me, it felt wrong. I don't know why. I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't want to be that person who used to go overshare to everyone. But the more I watched, the more I realized that vulnerability isn't about dumping your emotions to everyone. It's about being honest with yourself and with the people who genuinely care about you. I won't lie that I won't lie and say that I have it all figured out. I still struggle to reach out, but I think I have come a long way. Now, even if it takes time, I allow myself to talk about what's bothering me instead of bottling it up. And I cannot tell you how much lighter that makes you feel. Here's the biggest lesson I have learned: being vulnerable doesn't make you weak, it just means that you are strong enough to acknowledge your emotions instead of running away from them. It takes courage to admit that this hurts. It takes strength to say, I need help. It takes growth to allow yourself to feel without shame. The strongest people are the ones who don't struggle, but they are the ones who struggle, acknowledge it, and work through it. So, if you are someone like me who has spent years avoiding emotion, hear me out. You don't have to do it. You don't have to let the world all at once. But start small. Find that one person. Find that one space where you feel safe. Let yourself be seen. Because the moment you start acknowledging your emotion, the moment you stop running from yourself, that's when you become unstoppable. So, yeah, that was my today's rant. And if you ever struggle with being vulnerable, know that you're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, today is the day you let yourself be a little more free. Express yourself, acknowledge your emotions, maybe journal about it, figure out your own outlet, and take your own time. You don't have to hurry up. It took me years. I'm still not there. But one step towards it is still better than not taking anything. Like, to celebrate your small wins. I know it's a tough journey, and again, you're not alone. You can reach me out anytime you want. So, yeah, love you all. Ta-da, bye bye.